You know, all of us, we have challenges, we have obstacles that we need to overcome in our lives, but as we all know, it's not what happens to us in our lives, it's how we react to it, what we do with it. And today, I want you to meet an individual who has overcome enormous challenges in his life, and he travels the world and helps people everywhere have better lives. And he has put together a system that is truly life-changing. And by way of video, I want you to meet the one and only Skip Archimedes.
Skip was a competitive gymnast who overcame serious illnesses, a coma, allergies, a family breakup, obesity, and depression to become a gymnastics champion. Then, during training, he experienced a living nightmare and broke his back. Doctors and specialists said he would never walk again. Unwilling to accept this fate, and inspired by Bruce Lee, he discovered forgotten secrets and used the power of his body, mind, and spirit to heal. 18 months later, he had returned to become the English acrobatics champion. He went on a worldwide quest to meet and work with international natural health experts to discover how to harness the miraculous abilities of the human body. Armed with these secrets and wisdom, he has worked with Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber, and is now a transformational coach to the rich and famous. An internationally acclaimed speaker, author, recognized expert on TV shows, in magazines and newspapers globally. Having trained thousands of people at his live events around the world, he has dedicated his life to helping people like you overcome physical, nutritional, emotional, and spiritual challenges. Imagine looking younger, feeling younger, and living a life of health, happiness, and vitality at any age. Discover how Skip can help you set yourself free and become the best you can by activating your mind, body, and spirit.
So honored.
Hi there, Skip here, and welcome to High Performance Mind Masterclass number 2. Now, yesterday should have opened you up to understanding that you got to get out of here and get back into here. Think about how much energy kids have. Think about how fast kids learn. Think about how much kids are in the present moment. Think about how much kids tell the truth. And what happens is the body is fueled up with energy, and all of a sudden the mind becomes freer. Children change their state like that in a heartbeat. Think about some child who wants an ice cream and they say, "Mum, Dad, I want an ice cream." You're not having an ice cream. "What? I want an ice cream." And they're like, "Wow, give me an ice cream, give me an ice cream." And all of a sudden when the parents go, "Okay, you know what, my God, I just want peace in my life. You can have an ice cream." And the kid goes, "Oh, brilliant." And they change their state in a heartbeat. We can do the same. But we've forgotten a lot of the natural things that are going on within us. And one of the things that I want to start off today's masterclass is all about your belief systems. This is huge, my friend, because what's happening is you've got mechanisms within your mind, and these mechanisms, what they do, because you've got to remember this, nothing in life means anything until you pin a meaning on it. The second you pin a meaning on that thing, bam, that reality is going to open up to you. So what's happened is we've been given belief systems from our parents. These belief systems have been handed down from generation to generation. There are certain traditions that have given us belief systems. We create belief systems when we build friendships, when we build relationships, when we go out into this big wide world, we create belief systems. Now the challenge is a lot of the belief systems that people are buying into, they're just not serving them. So what happens is we go and get trapped with a certain belief, because this belief is like a filter. Literally billions of pieces of information are coming into you every single second. Like with your eyes alone, as you're looking at this, and this is one of the reasons why I say make sure that you're looking at the screen, make sure you're present, because there's visuals that we're going to be putting up. because your eyes are literally making millions of distinctions every single second. What's going on inside of you is the miracle. We just got to go in there and we've got to get it activated. So the way we create great activation is the belief systems that may not be serving us. There's so many belief systems. I mean, what are your belief systems around your own mind and body? Do you really love yourself? Do you love the body you're in? Do you despise yourself? You know, what's a belief system? Can you change? Now, I say that if you're here now, then you're searching for a change. You want the answers. And I honor you for showing up and giving me your time. Because the truth is, you can get money back, you can get health back, you can get love back, you can get most things back in life. The only thing no one can get back is time. So time is our most valued asset. And I'm going to be giving you as much as I can in today's masterclass to make sure that if you've got a belief system that's in place, which is kind of like a filter. So what it means is that as you drop this filter in place, everything that you receive in life is being filtered through a certain belief system. We change that belief system. We allow you to connect to more of the truth. We allow you to connect to more of your inner strength, more of your inner balance, more of your inner wisdom. What do you think that is going to do for the mind? It changes everything. So the first thing that we've got to be aware of is, what are your belief systems? Now, what you're going to learn is when you start to find resistance in life, because what I'd like you to do is become a detective in your life. We've got to go, we've got to find these answers because everybody is on their path of life. What we want to make sure is that as you go down your path of life, you create belief systems along that journey that are going to serve you, your loved ones, and going to serve the greater good. That's how you get in alignment with universal intelligence. I just want to say this, that tomorrow, when we're harnessing energy, we're harnessing universal intelligence, we're harnessing something beyond the physical. Because let me ask you this question. Do you believe that there is a creator or a design behind this game of life? Of course there is. This stuff that we're living now with all these senses, it doesn't just happen. A brain just doesn't suddenly form. Eyes don't just suddenly form. You know, a heart, liver, lungs, skin, organs, bones, all of this is a designed mechanism. So the mechanisms that are going at the moment with belief systems that aren't serving you, we got to get rid of them. So let me ask you this question. Are you ready to let go of what hasn't been serving you and allow yourself to connect to the truth, but it may be different than what you've believed? Because if you don't change your belief systems, here's what happened. As I start to give you some information, as I start to share with you what you need to learn and what's going to take your life from whatever level you're playing at up to the next level, if you've got a belief system in play that isn't the truth, what's going to happen is I'm going to share something with you and this information is going to come in and you're going to go, rubbish. And you're going to literally throw it out. You're going to get rid of it before you've even tasted it, before you've even had chance to just sit with it and go, oh, well, that was something different than what I learned, but it feels right. It feels good. I'm getting a better result. My mind is working better. I can now focus on what I want. I don't have to trip up at the last hurdle. I don't have to fail. I can actually just realize that this flow of life can breathe through me. This intelligence can breathe through me. And what will happen is instead of you having information come in and go, bam, you reject it and you throw it straight out, what will happen is it will come in and you're going to sit with it. And then you give it some space. Just like this whole game of life is made up of mostly space. You look around you now, there's mostly space. If I took any of your cells out of your body and we put them in a petri dish, guess what we're going to find? They're mostly space. The magic is in the space. So then what happens is, as you give it time, you give it some space, you let it breathe and you chew on it. You're like, well, does this feel right? Does it feel good? All of a sudden, what's then going to happen is you're going to respond as the best version of yourself. Instead of reacting and saying something where you're adding fuel to the fire, you're making the situation worse. That's how you react based on programming that hasn't worked. And a lot of that programming has now put these filters, these lenses, these belief systems in place. So we remove the belief systems and we start to open up to the truth. So the truth is, what we've got to work on is your mind, your body, and your spirit. This is how you get a mind performing at high levels. This is how you get to think faster, smarter. You get to predict what's going to happen. You can almost see the road ahead. When you're in a relationship with someone, you can actually see, this is coming up. I need to put this into place. I need to do this, so that we can now connect at a high level, not trying to pull people down, seeing things as they are, not worse than what they are. Most of us are adding a poor me story on it. We're dumping. And by the way, if you add a poor me story into a situation where you become a victim and then you go and share it with somebody else, what do you think you're doing? You're carving out a groove that's even deeper. So you're training yourself to be a poor me instead of training yourself to be someone who is free, someone who lives life on your terms, someone who creates an amazing body and mind, somebody who has this abundance of energy working through them, someone who is waking up and doing what they love every single day and becoming financially free by following their path. That's how we break the mold. That's how we break the belief systems. We have to first vision what's possible for you. So what do you really want? That's the question. That's what we're going to dig into in today's session. So there are some people in life who basically say, oh God, I'm not where I am because I haven't got the resources around me. I'm not where I am because I haven't got rich parents. I'm not where I am because I didn't have the right education. All of these things are excuses. So let me ask you this question. What do you want? Do you want results or do you want excuses? You can't occupy the same space. You're going to have to give your energy. You're going to have to give your focus to one of them. So what's it going to be? Of course, it's going to be results. Now, this is what I want to explain because you succeeding in life, you creating a high performance mind, you living life at a high level, this has nothing to do with how you was raised up, has nothing to do with the resources that you have around you. What it comes down to is, are you being resourceful enough? Because you've heard the sayings everywhere. There are children that get born into wealthy families. They go to private school. They have private tutors. They get shipped all around the world in first class. They go to all the most amazing places around the world. And you hear these people, some of them, they end up on the streets. Some of them end up depressed. Some of them end up suicidal. Some of them end up on drugs. Some of them end up, on alcohol. What it comes down to is, are you in alignment with your mind, your body, and your spirit? Because you've heard situations where there are people who were born into no money. People didn't have that education. But what they found, and this is the beautiful thing, they were so committed to doing something in life that was going to make a change. Their why was so big. Nothing was going to stop them on their journey. And they can be struggling and struggling and struggling, but they're still committed to doing what's needed. And these people can become billionaires who are happy. So what's really making you happy in life? And that's one of the things that we're going to be going through in Masterclass number 4, making sure that we have that happiness, making sure that we have that funness, making sure that every day life is an adventure. So make sure that you're on for all 4 of these masterclasses, because if you miss one of them, you could be missing that valuable ingredient that is exactly what you need right now. Just allow things to just slot into place so that you can become the person that you came here to be. Now, I'd like to bring up a story where understanding the power of belief. We're talking about belief systems here, and I want you to understand that this changes everything. Let's use a story. You've probably all heard this story before. Jim Carrey. Now, why do I want to share this story when you probably already know it? Because he did something phenomenal, but it wasn't just what he did. I want you to understand this. It was the intention behind what he did. You can stand there and you can look in the mirror. This is why affirmations don't work. People look in the mirror and they go, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm really happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. But underneath it all, you don't believe it. So you're saying, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And your brain's going, BS, you're not happy. You're lying to yourself, you're not happy. So the affirmations, they don't work unless there is an emotion attached to it. Because here's how it works. Every time you have a single thought in your mind, what happens is you get a neurological pathway that gets created. It's like a strand that gets created. When you have an emotion attached to it, now having a belief system where infinite things are possible, that's going to have a strong emotion behind it. So if you've got a really good, strong emotion, now that can be positive or negative. This is how you have to be able to guard the mind. And there's a good emotion, there's a strong emotion behind it. Instead of you having just one strand, you've now got back 10. And it's like you've gone and carved out a highway. And as you start to carve out a highway, thoughts can start to travel down that road. It's like creating a whole new highway within the mind. So what we want to be doing is carving out thought processes in your mind that lead you to a place where you can start to believe anything is possible. Because if you don't believe that you can have what you want in this game of life, no one's going to give it to you. The belief is the first thing. The belief that I can do this, the belief that you can focus your mind on something, whether it's to do with changing your body, whether it's to do with improving your relationship with yourself and our creator, improving your relationship with other people, improving your finances, improving your career, whatever the area of life is that you're going to focus on, guess what? Your mind's in the game. So we've got to make sure that we are switching your mind, your thinking, into higher frequencies, because you've created all these pathways, all these neurological pathways in the brain that are done by your design, not by a broken society out there that's putting fear in there. If you're in fear, guess what? Your immune system goes down, your belief system goes down, your dreams go down, your energy goes down, all of those things go down, and you need greatness on your side. If you're going to go out and you're going to live a life of miracles, you're going to be challenged. But what we want is you bouncing back from your challenges, because now you believe that, right, life's put me up against a wall here. Or life is beating me up at the moment, but it's not keeping me down. I want to keep getting back up, back up, back up, back up. Because let's go back to Jim Carrey's story. So what he did was, he was a young kid. He had faith like putty, and he realized that he could do stupid things, he could do impersonations, and he started to make people laugh, and he got addicted to it. He was like, wow, I like this, mate. I like this making people laugh thing. It's good, it makes me feel good, it makes them feel good, everybody wins. So he started making people laugh. He became a comedian. And even though he got on some TV shows and he started doing some gigs, which he was loving, it didn't really change his life from a financial perspective. I think he had a teacher once, and this teacher basically just said that you can manifest whatever you want. You can create what you want. And he remembered that this teacher had done something and he liked it. And this teacher said, you can have anything you want. And he remembered it. And he was like, okay, well, I want $10 million. So what he done was, as he's now learning his craft, he's becoming a better comedian, he's becoming a better actor, he's becoming a better performer. So while he's building his muscle and he's learning his craft, he wrote down, signed a check to himself for $10 million for acting services rendered. And he's going on his journey, and he said that, and he kept it on him all the time. And he said that this check was wearing, and it was like, it was just like decaying. And he put a date on it as well. Now, he didn't then do that journey not believing it wasn't going to happen. Like, where the hell is this $10 million? I can't see how this $10 million is going to come in. Because you might be thinking, hang on a minute, Skip. You don't understand the situation I'm in. I'm in a situation where I've got a partner, doesn't really want to be with me, but I've got to support her. I've got kids, got to pay for them. I've just been fired from my job. How the hell am I going to, get to a position where I can earn like $1 million a year, a couple of million a year, or maybe even 100,000 a year, or even just get myself out of debt? I can't even see the way forward. That's a belief system. That's something blocking you, or you saying, I'm overweight and I can't afford to get healthy. It's another belief system. It's total BS. When you hear the word BS, just start to be thinking, BS, belief systems. I can change belief systems. When you change your belief systems, you change you. And you have the power to do everything you want. So, and by the way, no matter how backed up against the wall you are, if you're watching this now and you apply the things I'm going to teach you and you take action, life can be turned around very, very quickly. So let's get back to Jim Carrey. He was in a situation where, he had this car, wasn't a great car, but he would sit and he would overlook the city. And he said that he used to sit there and he just knew that what he had would make people laugh all around the world. He just had this confidence, and he would sit there and he would be in his car and he would be overlooking, the city, eating baked beans out of a can. But he wasn't sitting there feeling sorry for himself. He wasn't sitting there saying, why? When's it going to happen? Why hasn't it happened yet? God, come on, I've done everything. I'm giving my life to this. No, he just had the belief it was going to happen. And he knew, he could feel it was going to happen. That's the key thing. Remember what I taught you in yesterday's video. One of the things that I learned from Bruce Lee, don't think, feel. If you can't feel that it's going to happen, then you've got more work to do, because you've got to get it encoded within you. Because when you hold the feeling, you're going to connect to law of attraction. And there's a law of gravity. You know, if I throw something up, it's going to come down. I want to catch it every single time. Doesn't matter who throws it up, it will come down every single time. Doesn't matter what your attitude is, there is a law there that you throw up, it will come down. There's a cause and an effect. Law of attraction works the same. You launch your intention, your dream, your rocket of desire. Then the universe has to line things up. Just like when you go and order something on Amazon or online, do you 100% expect it, when you've paid for it, do you expect it to arrive at your door? Of course you do. And if it doesn't arrive, what do? You contact me and say, hey guys, I ordered this thing, it hasn't come yet. Can you please check out my order and make sure that it's going to be sent to me because I've ordered it, I've paid for it. And then you expect to get it delivered. The universe is no different. The challenge is most people are stuck up in their minds thinking about stuff, worrying about stuff, that they're not present in the moment. And then what happens is life presents this opportunity based on your intention. But then guess what? You don't even see it. It just passes you straight by. You didn't even know it was there. Kind of like when you're a kid and your mum says, oh, will you go and get the salt and pepper pot and put it on the table? And you're like, you're playing a game. I don't want to go and get the salt and pepper and put it on the table. I'm playing a game. Your mum goes, oh, go and get the salt and pepper pot and put it on the table. You're like, oh, I don't want to do that. She goes, go and do it. Help out. You're like, I don't even know where it is. Program gone in. I don't know where it is. She goes, it's in the cupboard. Go and put it on the table. You go down. You undo the cupboard, you go, I don't know where it is. I don't even know where the salt and pepper pot is. You undo the cupboard, I don't know where it is. It's not there. I can't see it. I can't see the salt and pepper pot. And you're telling yourself you can't see it. It's like you're hypnotizing yourself. It's like when people get hypnotized and they might say something along the lines of, oh, you can't see Skip, and all of a sudden all you see is a candle bouncing in front of you. Was Skip there all the time? Yes, but because you've been hypnotized, you can literally delete Skip and you just see the candle. We do this in a lot. Millions of pieces of information come in every second. So billions come in every second. They get filtered down. We then delete most of them. Then we distort the rest based on our belief systems, and then we pin a meaning on it. That's how things get filtered in to mean something to you. And then when you pin a meaning on it, that reality opens up. So your mum comes down and there's a salt and pepper pots right in front of her and you're like, oh my God, is my mum Houdini? How did she just make those appear? Were they there all the time? Of course they were. You just kept telling yourself you couldn't see them. And when you tell yourself you're not good enough, when you tell yourself you don't deserve it, when you tell yourself that you can't manifest massive dreams, guess what? That's you communicating to the universe in a lack way, saying, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth the best. That belief system has to change. So let's get back to Jim Carrey. He just sat and he believed, he put the date on it. And I think he gave himself, was it 3 or 5 years? And literally the week before, he got a check through the post for $10 million for acting services rendered. And it was for Dumb and Dumber, which is probably a movie that you've seen or you know people who've seen it. And he then went on to become a global icon because he believed it was possible. So whatever we're going to focus on now to do with your mind, so that you can focus your mind to improve an area of your life, what do you want it to be? Let's get clear now. Clarity is power. What do you want to manifest in your life? And now I dare you to dream big. Start to dream bigger. Because if you're not going to start to get excited by your dreams, if you're not going to start to really understand that this is your game of life and you can have anything and everything you want, but it starts with you believing it. Because if you're saying, okay, well, look, I want to create £100,000 in the next 6 months, $1 million in the next 6 months, £10,000 in the next month, whatever it is, it has to be something that scares you. Right, I want to change my body. I'm going from this, I'm just sick of being this way. I want to be athletic. I want to have that energy. I want to have that flexibility. I want to have that strength and balance. but you're scared of going to the gym. You're scared of people seeing you like that. That's a stupid belief system. Everyone's in the gym to get fit. I've really never seen people judge people in the gym. But we start to have this mechanism of self-judgment going and going and going and going. And anytime we self-judge ourselves, one, we're ripping life away from us. But at the same time, because a judgment mechanism is going, guess what? You've now put that belief system and that filter in place, and you'll start to judge other people. And if you really want to be free in this life, you can't judge. You got to look at people like the sun shines on our planet, where the sun just shines and it gives. What does it give? It gives information, it gives heat, it gives energy. There'd be no life on this planet if it wasn't for the sun. But all of us, we don't shine like the sun. We can, but we choose not to. Because we go into, well, I'll give you a little bit, but then I want some back. Whereas if we understand that we live in a vibrational frequency, and fear and pain and sorrow and shame and all of those things are very, very low frequency, and what's the highest? Love. So we really want you to start to fall back in love with yourself. Just stop judging yourself. Give yourself a break. And I challenge you now, see if you can do this. See if you can go tomorrow, the rest of today and tomorrow, without judging yourself or anyone else. And if the second you would notice, oh my God, I just judged. Why do I want you to become aware of that? Because awareness is the first point of any change. And when you have that awareness, you start to realize that, if I am judging anyone, including myself, I can't help. Because again, judgment, very low vibration, very low frequency. Whereas if you go and you just give love, or you give yourself unconditionally just because you can, different things are going to come back. You're going to feel different things in that moment. We want you in the moment, being switched on, having your body switched on, having your mind switched on, having your spirit switched on and breathing through you, and all three elements of what you are connecting in these higher frequencies. That is how you start to do what Jim Carrey did. That is how you have no actual plan. No plan. You need a plan, but it wasn't a detailed plan. He knew it, he just wanted to serve the world. And when you go out there and you give your all, you cut off all the other possibilities of, I don't want to play small anymore. I just want to go for it. And when I go for it, I want to put my heart and soul and everything I've got into this. Then all of a sudden, what you do is you're sending a commandment to the universe. Say, look, I'm committed to this. Support me on this. Line up whatever I need to go through so that I can get what I want. When you start getting what you want and you start filling your cup up and your cup starts overflowing, you're going to give that back to everyone else. The challenge is most people aren't filling their cup up and they go and give a little bit to someone. Well, I'm just giving that to you. What are you going to give me? And they start horse trading. It's like doing a deal with a hooker. I'll pay you this and you do that for me. There's no heart and soul in that. There's just a trade-off. We don't want you going through life doing these negotiations, making trade-offs. What we want is you breathing life through you, lighting yourself up and other people so that you start manifesting what you truly want in this game of life. So, everyone who is in that position where they're creating a life of freedom, what they say is 20% mechanics. Most people are like, just give me the technique, give me the method, give me the hack, give me the formula. But what I learned early on in my game, I started giving people formulas and they weren't getting the same results as me. And I was like, this is ridiculous because this stuff works. This is law. But what I realized, what was going on with the actual human was they were out of balance. They were out of alignment. If someone gives you a tool or a strategy or a technique and they say, oh my God, this thing's happening at the moment, get involved with this or go and build this or go and do this, but you're broken, guess what? You'll probably break the strategy. The stuff that I'm sharing with you, this is real. I live it, I breathe it. I'm able to teach tens of thousands of people this stuff every single year all around the world, but it needs you to understand this. If there's only 20% mechanics, then what the hell is the 80%? The 80% is why. Why are you committed to this? Why are you doing this? Why, when that mountain pops up in front of you, or why when something happens and a storm comes in and just takes everything you've got away. If your why isn't big enough, if you're not committed to it, when the challenge comes up, guess what? You're going to say, it wasn't for me anyway. I didn't think it was going to work right from the beginning. Well, guess what? You was right because of your belief system. When you say, right, I'm committed to this, nothing is going to stop me crossing that finish line, and I want to enjoy the journey, all of a sudden, you are now focused, like laser beam focused. Because in my journey, a lot of people don't know this. When I was being trained by a 2-time world champion sports acrobat, he basically said that you are committed or you're not. And if you're not committed, I'm not going to coach you. If you commit to this and you commit to me, I'll make you English sports acrobatics champion. And I was like, how? He was a world-class coach. This is why you have to get yourself a world-class coach, because he knew the road ahead. A good coach would not have got me there. I could have spent the same amount of time in the gym. Wouldn't have worked. You need to have world-class coaches around you, whether it's online, whether it's offline, where they can share with you what works. So you don't have to go and make the same mistakes and trip up and spend a lot of time, maybe a lot of money, learning what doesn't work. Just find out what works and do it. But the first thing you got to do is you got to invest in yourself. It's number one. You got to make you function better. So if your why is huge, then all of a sudden, any challenge you're going to get through. So we were coming up to the English Sports Acrobatics Championships, and I had an accident in the gym. Basically broke this wrist. And of course, you know, if that happens, what are we going to go through in our minds? It's like, no, you got to be kidding me. Just before the competition, this wrist, what the hell? We got the hospital, we get an x-ray, we get it all checked out. And they end up just saying, look, this isn't good. Now, if I didn't have a world-class coach, what we did next would never have happened. And he said, well, I've had these things called hydrocortisone injections. It's now they're quite common, but back then, I'm talking like over 25 years ago. Back then, this was unheard of. And it was a real painful injection. And basically, it absolutely killed when it went in. But I woke up on the day of the competition. This was almost pain-free. So we was able to strap it up. Now, obviously, unless it was a competition, you know, we wouldn't have done it, because now I'm actually going to injure what was going on inside. But for a temporary fix, so, you know, like a Band-Aid, it worked. And we were so focused on winning that championship title that when we stepped on the floor and we did our thing, guess what? We walked away with the gold. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because that champion that I found within me, there's one within you. There's one within everyone. And it's got nothing to do with whether you actually get the gold or not. What it has to do with is, are you performing at your best? If you perform at your best, everything else is going to take care of itself. But you need to know why you're going to commit to living in a body that you're proud of. Why are you going to commit to giving your body what it needs, so it's not going to end up with a heart disease, a cancer, a diabetes, you know, so it's not going to break down. We want to make sure that what you're doing boosts up your immune system, so that if anything does come in, your body defenses just throw it straight out. So why are you going to commit to having a mind that performs at high levels? Why are you going to commit to allowing more life to breathe through you, more universal intelligence? I mean, think about this. Think about just the technology that has changed our lives in the last few decades. Think about how long human life had been on this planet with zero technology. All of a sudden, technology comes up. We're seeing this massive shift in awareness. We're seeing this massive shift in consciousness. We're able to share stuff around the world. Technology allows things like this to happen, where I can literally be probably on another part of the world to you, and now you're able to get these teachings right here, right now, to improve the quality of your life. That, you need to understand, did not come from someone's mind just absorbing things in this physical reality. We're talking about your mind, we're talking about your body. There's a non-physical part to what you are. Now, I want to relate that to, say, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. We're using it right now to connect. With Wi-Fi, can you see it? Can you touch it? Can you taste it? Can you smell it? Can you grab it? No. So you're telling me it's non-visible and it's non-physical, and yet we use it every single day. If that would have happened 100 years ago, a few hundred years ago, you'd have got burnt at the stake, saying that there's some witchcraft going on here. This isn't like normal, because if it wasn't in this 3D reality, then it didn't exist. Wi-Fi, you can't see it, you can't touch it, it's non-visible, it's non-physical, but you're using it every single day. And when you don't have that Wi-Fi connection, what are you doing? You're stressing out, oh my God, I can't get connected. You know, I need a Wi-Fi code. Who's got a code? Your spirit is just the same. Your spirit is so big, so vast, so expansive, so limitless, that when you have that spirit, and it's a childlike spirit, it's a limitless spirit, it's a spirit where you can take something from the non-physical, you can think in your imagination, you can see it in your mind's eye, and boom, you pull it straight into this reality. When you get that connection, where you start giving your body what it needs, so now it can start to feed the mind with a different type of energy, different awareness, different thoughts, and you start to give your mind what it needs as well, and now you start to allow this life, this spirit to breathe through you, what do you think is going to happen to your life? This is how you start to get supercharged. This is how you start to get back control of your life. So how many things are you believing that simply aren't true? What could you now believe in that's going to feel empowering? In fact, type it in the comments. What did you believe that wasn't true? What can you now believe that will be true? We've got to change these belief systems. Jim Carrey, $10 million. If he didn't believe it, I can tell you now, it would not have happened. But he believed it. He was focused on it. He trusted in the universe. He trusted in life. He trusted in himself. You've got to get this trust back. This whole, everything when it comes to your belief systems, you've got to understand that universal intelligence. Let's just say this, right? We're on Google. We've created a platform called Google. I go on Google and I can search for anything I want, and guess what? I type in love, what do I get back? I get a whole bunch of files back on love. I type in pain, same search engine, I've just changed one word, what do I now get? Access to all files to do with pain. So whatever I type in is what I get back. Whatever you project out there, whatever you're holding in your mind, whatever you're holding in your belief system, whatever you're holding in your emotional system, it's communicating to the universe. And it's saying, this is what I want. Because where focus goes, energy flows. What you focus on is what you get. So now what do you want to focus on? What do you want to focus on? I want to keep reminding you, what do you want to focus on when it comes to your own body? What changes could be made to your body that when they get made, it's going to change your life? What changes could happen in your mind? What changes could happen in your relationships? What changes could happen in your finances, with your career? Now we've got to get hungry. And if you go, well, I don't know, we'll just choose something. Because by not choosing, you're still making a choice. So here's what I'd like to do right now, is we're going to engage the imagination. We're going to explore a little bit when it comes to being a visionary. So many great visionaries that have walked this planet, and what they believed most people couldn't see. Disney, one of them. Some amazing belief systems in place when it came to him creating a whole Disney empire. And I remember there was a story once where Walt Disney had actually passed. And I think it was when they opened up Disney World. It might have been Epcot Center. So there they were, opening day, and his brother was there, and his brother was giving a speech, and there was some press guy, and apparently, press alike, the paparazzi, and he put a few digs into him, and he said, oh, isn't it a shame that, Disney couldn't be here to witness all of this? Isn't it a shame? And his brother just dealt with it with so much grace and elegance, and he said, well, here's my friend, you're just a mere reporter. And the reason why you're here today seeing all of this is because my brother saw it first. And because my brother saw it, and he knew it, and he believed it, and he could really see it, because if you want to achieve it, you have to see it in your mind. You've then got to be able to feel it in your body. Then it becomes real. Not having a thought of, oh God, I'd love it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. That's not a strong enough belief system. We've got to create such a strong belief system that now fuels up the mind. It's like you open up the gateways to more wisdom. You open up the gateways to more energy. You open up the gateways to more possibilities. And through that travels the magic of life. So what we're going to do now is I'd like you to imagine that if you really had a focused mind, if you had a mind that could be unshakable, if you had a mind that could allow you to have big dreams within you, but you can hold on to them with a good vibe, with a good energy and a belief that this is coming, this is going to happen, and you can feel it in your body like it's already happened, then you're sending such a strong message out to the universe to say, this is what I want. And just think of the universe like an expanded Google. Whatever you type in it is what you're going to get back. So we've got to make sure that what you're putting in your mind is what you want. And anytime you're focused on the problem, guess what? In those moments, you're becoming a part of it. So we've always got to be solution driven. So within your mind right now, I'd like you to imagine in your mind, what would it feel like to be in your perfect body? How would you stand? How would you breathe? What would you feel if you was in that perfect body? Toned, strong, balanced, energized, centered, flexible. The amount of energy you want, a really strong immunity, you don't break down, you don't get ill anymore. It's like every day you wake up, you go and live that adventure because that life is breathing through the trillions of cells that make up your physical body. And now see this identity of you standing there strong. See this identity where you're now proud, knowing that you're looking at this person and go, wow, this person is energized, this person radiates life, this person is tuned in, whatever this person's got, I want it. And it's magnetism, it's energy, it's life. And now see yourself living a perfect day. Who would be the people around you? What would be your great day? What creations would you want born through you? What creativity wants to breathe through you? What magic wants to breathe through you? What would you create? Great relationships, projects, business, money, travel, adventures. Where would you go? Who would you go there with? Really allow yourself to see it. Now, if you can see all these things, what would you be hearing? What types of things would you hear in your mind? Solution. Got to speak to this person, got to add value to this person, got to go and serve over here, got to go and give something good over there. Because when you hold it within yourself, you're going to have people coming up to you saying, how do you do this? I want some of this. And people will be drawn to you. Now, see people talking to you and looking to you in awe of who you are and what you've created. See them being respectful. See them showing up in greatness. One of the things that Jim Carrey said was, he said, I just love my job. He said, whenever I meet people, I get people coming up to me, showing me the best versions of themselves. He doesn't get people running up to him and telling them their problems and so he goes, no, I get life. I get people giving me their best energy. And he said, and that's addictive. So see yourself being around people where they're coming up, they're smiling, they're beaming with energy, beaming with respect. Because now you're living in the truth. And in that truth, we find freedom. Now, if that was your life every single day, where would you be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Because where we have to start this journey is in the mind. But it's got to feel right. It's got to be something that we can connect to fully. Not dabble in, not play a little bit here, a little bit there. No, we go for it. And you put all of you into what it is that you're doing. You dig deep. And certain people say, oh yeah, well, I'm tired now. Well, no, you don't stop when you're tired. You stop when it's done. Look at children. They're not on a time scale. They're playing. Oh, it's time to go to bed. No, I want to play. No, it's time to go to bed. Yeah, no, I want to play. They just want to keep going and going. When you can just keep going and you wake up and as soon as you wake up, you're into what it is that you're doing. All of a sudden, and there might be a transition, but we need to have the vision in your mind first. That has to be locked in with passion attached to it. Because when you have passion attached to it, nothing is going to electrify you like passion. When you have this passion breathing through you, game changer. There's no food, there's no drink, there's no drug, there's no substance that can electrify you like passion. So the things that you're thinking of, you've got to put passion into it. You've got to put passion into moving your body. You've got to put passion into your creations. You've got to put passion into your relationships. You've got to put passion back into life. Because on the flip side, people who blame, complain, or shame, they stay stuck. Because they're looking at the wall and they keep hitting the wall. And they don't realize it, but it's like a fly trying to get out a window, and it's just doing the same thing, trying to get out. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing again and again and again, expecting a different result. Whereas if it pulled back and realized, oh, fly out the window. All I had to do was move just a tiny little bit, different outcome. Now, one of the things that I'd like to do is really just tell you this story, because this is real, and you're going to understand that there is something more going on in this game of life than what you can see. You can't see Wi-Fi, but it's going on everywhere. So I'm filming this documentary. We're filming ex-Miss Malaysia. She's 53 years old. She looks like she's 33 years old. She's created these companies. She's worth a couple $100 million. And she lives on a plant-powered diet. She talks a lot about yoga and meditation. And because she was very, very balanced, I said, Ihong, you got to let me film you for this movie I'm doing. I said, what you're sharing is golden. So we filmed her. And something in me went, climb up the waterfall, do a few yoga poses, a few meditation shots at the top, and then we'll use them as the cutaway B-roll shots. So I'm climbing up this waterfall, I get near the top, and all of a sudden some water comes, I slip, I fall about 50 feet down the waterfall, hit a rock at the bottom, snap my tailbone, snap this wrist, and the tailbone went from it being in a C shape to an L shape, and it went from being straight down the body, knocked over to one side of the body, and this bone was sticking out here. And cutting a long story short, I refused to basically have the operation. And not because I was being a rebel, but we're in this ward, and I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm in and out of consciousness, and I'm saying, what the hell's going on? Oh, Skip, they're going to have to operate on you. You know, you've snapped your tailbone, you snapped your wrist. They want to get you in the operating theatre straight away. I said, whoa. I said, hold on. I said, if I'm going to hand my body over to someone, I need to tune in inside to see whether this is real or not. You have all the answers inside of you. The challenge is most people don't know how to tune in and to go and access all these answers, to go and access this wisdom. So I asked everyone to leave. I go and tune in and ask the question, what am I meant to have this operation? And this no came in before it even finished asking the question. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Am I meant to be on stage in 3 days' time? Because we had 1,000 people coming to this event. And the answer was yes. I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is going to happen. Remember, you don't need to know how. The how is the mechanics. That's 20%. The why is big enough. The reason why I was in Malaysia at the time was to do this event. That's the reason why I was there, to go there and serve, to go and share these teachings with people. So I end up being guided to ask for help. And I pull my phone out and I start recording this message of me asking for help. And I said, guys, it's Skip here. I'm sorry, I don't have the usual sort of motivational message that I usually have, but I know explain what happened. And I said, the guidance that I've got is to ask you for help. And the help is, can you please just pray for me? Not in a way where you feel sorry for me, not in a way where you put me into a victim mode, or you go into a victim mode and you start feeling sorry. It's like, no, we want to be empowered through this. There's a reason why this happened. Don't know what it is yet, but there's a reason why this happened. Now, and we usually can't find it until we're out. I'm being very specific on what I'm being guided to do, to ask for help. And the guidance was, please see me on stage in 3 days' time doing this event for all these people, for 1,000 people that have registered for this event. Now, it didn't make any sense. They wanted to operate. The chance of me being on stage in 3 days' time, never going to happen. Just not. You're not with a snapped tailbone. And I said, please don't feel sorry for me. Please look at me in the way that all the ascended masters would look at whoever was in front of them. When we're in front of people, what we see, and we see what's possible, or we see what's not possible. Because again, that's another belief system, that's a filter. So there I am asking people to pray for me, seeing me on that stage, seeing me energized, seeing me glowing, seeing me giving these people what they came to get. I did not want to let these people down. we ended up checking out a hospital. They were saying I was so irresponsible. They said, oh, you're going to have to sign this then. I was like, how can I sign? I can't even move my fingers. And I had to get one of my partners to sign it. We checked out. We went back to the hotel. They're wheeling me in the hotel. And they all knew me in the hotel because that's where we were doing the event. And they showed me a newspaper clipping. Singapore man dies at waterfall. And I'm like, guys, I could have been dead. Easy. I said, that's the first thing we got to be grateful for, because if you don't learn how to be grateful, I'm sure you've heard this again and again, create an attitude with gratitude. It's like, what, now be pammy, so what have I got to be grateful for? Well, if you can't find what you can be grateful for, then you're going to stay in these low frequencies. Now, in that position, when I can't even stand up, I'm not knowing how I'm going to be doing this event, and I'm in a lot of physical pain, and my bones were still out of alignment. We still had to get the bones in alignment. Because if they heal and all my bones are out of alignment, I'm going to be in a lot of pain when they heal. You know, the bones are like the framework, it's like the scaffolding. They said, so what happened? I explained what happened and stuff. And they said, wow, you are lucky to be alive because, this guy died trying to save his daughter. And we ended up going up to the hotel room. And what we didn't realize was that video that we posted on Facebook, it went viral. I think it was something like 21,000 views, almost instantly. And what we didn't know was that people had got into different groups around the world. There was a group in Mexico, there was a group in Spain, there was a group in the UK, there was a group in Asia. All these groups started to get together. And they did my request. They started to pray, seeing me at my best. Now, I went from lying in so much pain to literally feeling like I've been drugged up. I was in pain, and all of a sudden, it's like I'm riding these waves of bliss. This euphoria, this euphoric feeling that I was feeling, it starts literally engulfing my whole being. And I was like, guys, has someone drugged me up? And they were looking at me like, what the hell's going on with Skip? And they were, are you all right? And I went, guys, I'm brilliant. And they were like, what? I said, guys, I feel amazing. What's happening? And they're like, Skip, what's going on? And I went, guys, seriously, I feel awesome right now. And what we didn't realize was that these groups had got together all around the world, and everyone's looking at me like, we don't know what's going on. So I asked a question like, where is this coming from? And what I got was, this is coming from the prayers from humanity. Now, you might have heard about the power of prayer. The challenge is most people are praying in the wrong way. They're praying, oh God, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why can't I just have this or be there? And they're asking disempowering questions. When you ask a disempowering question, guess what? You're going to get a disempowering answer. You've got to learn how to ask empowering questions. And when I felt these waves of bliss, and it was like, this is coming from the prayers from humanity, it basically had an effect on me that changed me. It changes what I now commit to in life, because I fell in love with humanity. Even though we're screwing the planet up, even though we're meant to be the most phenomenal species on the face of the planet, we're meant to be the most intelligent species, we're the only species at the moment that's contributing to its own destruction. We're destroying the rainforest, we're destroying the animal kingdom, we're destroying the seas, we're destroying our own lives, we're destroying the cities, we're destroying the ecosystem, we're destroying life at such a high level. Here's what I believe. When we turn ourselves around and we start to live a life where we're in alignment with universal intelligence, then we have the power to be an example to people of what's real, what's right. And you start to live that life, your mind is going to perform at high levels. So what belief systems do you need to change? What do you need to create within yourself? And by the way, just to finish off the story, we ended up doing the event, and there were screens everywhere, the videos were going off, the music was going off, and these videos are introducing like the Miracle Man, and this audience is getting charged up for this Miracle Man. And I couldn't walk properly, and I certainly couldn't do stairs, and I've got a guy under this arm, I've got a guy under that arm, and we're walking really slowly, and I'm getting up these stairs. It takes me I'm 157 years old, like walking on stage, and everyone's like clapping like, Miracle Man, like, he looks like the Broken Man. Who the hell's this? He's not the Miracle Man. And then I explained to them the story, and I said exactly the same. I said, guys, I said, look, this is what happened. I explained everything. I said, I need you to pray for me right now. I did exactly the same thing. I said, you feel sorry for me? I'm going to feel it. I said, if you empower me with a belief that I'm now going to give you what you need. And you can see me energized. You can see me giving you what you need. At the end of the day, miracles are going to be born. And that's exactly what happened. The day went unbelievable. I couldn't do my normal energetic stuff, but I was there. I was able to give them what they needed and take them through certain processes still, so that they could let go of what was holding them back, let go of what was creating resistance in their mind and in their life. And then they can start to rise up to these higher frequencies. And it became such an incredible event. And I want you living every day at your best. So we've got to give the mind what it needs, and we've got to give the body what it needs, and we have to change our belief systems. So excuses are nothing but whatever you've given your focus to, that's literally ripping life away from you. Results, you're always focused on what it is that you want. What's your vision? What do you want? What do you want for your body? What do you want for your relationships? What do you want for your mind? What do you want for your finances? Get clear. Send that message out there, because clarity is power. Now, if you want a cocktail for a recipe that is going to give you success, then here's what you need. So the cocktail for a high performance mind is belief, focus, clarity, urgency, faith, tenacity, decisive action, and of course, gratitude. When you mix all these things together, whirl them all up, stick them in a blender, drink it down, let it get into your system, and go out there and play life, watch what's going to happen. In an area of your life where you might have failed, I guarantee those ingredients were not in the mix. You put these ingredients in the mix, then all of a sudden, you're going to have more of you. You miss one out, it's like baking a chocolate cake. If you're going to bake a chocolate cake, but you just take that one chocolate ingredient out, doesn't matter how creative you get in the kitchen, doesn't matter how many people you get in the mix, you're never going to get that chocolate cake. You need all of those ingredients in the mix. That's how you start to have a high performance mind. So I really do hope that today has added value to you, to your life. It's created some new awareness. It's allowed you to have a bigger vision. It's allowed you to take out some belief systems that may not be working and implement some that are. And now you've got these ingredients to a cocktail for success. And there's no negative side effects with this type of cocktail. So please, if you know anyone in your life who would benefit from this, get them on it. Get them the recordings, get them registered. Let them know that there is this information. And by the way, this is not just about information. Because if it is just about information, again, information is going to come in. Too much information is going to come in. And then we're going to start drowning and drowning and drowning and drowning and drowning and drowning. And before you know, you're suffocated. We want you swimming up on the surface. We want you breathing this oxygen. We want you living this life. But the only way you can do that is with activations. Like, you can't think your way, okay, now I'm going to change my body. And you're going to do all the thinking you want. The only way that you're going to change your body is when you start to move it. That's why we had to cover it in yesterday's masterclass. When you keep bringing this energy through the body, a lot of the stresses, a lot of the noise that's up here just disappears. So that you can start to think clearly again. You can't go, well, you can, but if you go through life just up in the mind, you're neglecting all of this. This is where play happens in the body. So remember, it's all about the activations. And any type of physical movement, you're activating the body. Anytime that you go into meditation, you're freeing the mind and you're activating yourself on a spiritual level. Anytime that you really get your mind focused on what you want, you're now activating your mind and programming your mind on what's important to you. Do not focus on the problems anymore. Don't focus on the poor me. Don't focus on being a victim. Don't go and share being a victim. Come out of it. Go and get activated. Break through your challenge. Break through, break through, break through. When you do that, you're building muscle. We want you building physical muscle. We want you building emotional muscle. We want you building mental muscle. We want you building spiritual muscle. We want you building money muscle. We want you building happiness muscle. All of these things are natural qualities within you. We just got to get your body, your mind, and your spirit back in alignment and connecting in these higher frequencies. So I do hope this is serving you. I'm loving taking you on this journey, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow at the same time, where we are going to be harnessing energy. And this is going to be energy, physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy, money energy, because money is an energy. Money is just an exchange. We've got to make sure that we're harnessing this abundance of energy, because if you haven't got the energy, you can't create anything. You can't create a great body when there's low energy. You can't create a great business when there's no energy. You can't create a great relationship when there's no energy. So tomorrow, if you notice that with me, I just get switched on with all this energy, because now I'm giving this thing what it needs regularly. It's starting to serve me back. Most people are creating a trash can or a clapped out old banger. I want you performing at the highest levels possible. So please do get other people involved in this. Help me share this with other people and help me take these teachings to, these free teachings in these masterclasses, to as many people as possible. And when you share, you care. So I love you, my friend. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have an amazing day wherever you are. Live strong, live healthy, live long. Make sure you live now with the nutrients, oxygen, and water. And for now, I'm out of here.